We interrupt your regularly scheduled program to bring you another episode of We Can Help with Dave and Woody, already in progress.
It's always it's always on me, I guess, right?
That, yeah. Well, I was in a hurry to get started. This might be my last show.
Ever?
Yeah. Well, at least for 10 to 15 years.
Till next week.
No, I got a phone call from the United States Postal Service, and
They found you.
apparently they've intercepted a bunch of packages that were addressed to my house in the port of Miami, and it's large amounts of cash and drugs. So when I pleaded innocent to that, they instructed me that they were going to open cases with the FBI for money laundering and drug trafficking. So I said, I said to the lady, I said, "Well, thanks for the tip. I need to hop on my private jet and get my ass back to Colombia."
Or was it if you'll send us $5,000
I didn't,
at
I didn't
Walmart?
get a letter. I said, I was like, "Oh, thanks. I need to hurry up and get the hell out of the country then." And she hung up.
Did she
So,
have like a foreign accent?
I believe so. Yes. If
All
I
right.
needed to name this, to name the subject.
Okay. We're still in the land shark. Not that it matters. I can't find the
What do you
breakdown
have?
number.
Well, I'd be happy to be sponsored by Land Shark, right?
At this point, we'd take anything, wouldn't we? Within reason.
Well, let's not at least tell everybody we're in the mood for a free sponsorship. But yeah, that'd be great because I'll drink Land Sharks as well. It's a good in the sun beer.
Yeah. I'm making a
So
mess of
good
it
for
though.
golfing, for boating, those kind of things is where I enjoy those. Nice head, Dave.
Hmm. I know.
Get a milk mustache.
It's off gassing. Remember we talked about that?
Yes, we
I
did.
haven't been able to drink beer
You
because of,
couldn't you couldn't pour the whole beer in a pint glass.
well, I got a little ahead of myself.
Yeah.
Get a little excited. It happens. All right.
Okay. How many you got left now?
Good show. I think this is number 3.
Okay. Very good. All right.
In the Schmegmakai glass.
There you go.
All honor to Ada Pie Chapter.
The house looks a little different these days. It's missing some letters for the front, I guess.
We're really not supposed to make fun of that. I really
What
don't
are you
care.
supposed to do? Congratulate them?
I don't know. I don't know. Someone said, "Oh, we'll just rent it." I'm like, "Oh yeah, there's probably a couple dozen people just waiting to get into a 40,000 square foot house. What's that going to cost?"
Hell, I'll move down there for the right price.
I mean, come on. Oh, those people are growing on trees. People
It's
that want
like
to rent that
the movie Old School, right? Start your own fraternity.
thing. Who pie? Looking for a house.
Anyhow,
Hmm.
so you getting ready for school?
Oh gosh. So,
You were aching to get back to work, and now you're
well,
moaning about going back to work.
it's like
You're just not happy.
I'm ready. No, I'm ready. It's you have to kind of ease yourself back into it. You have to mentally get prepared, I am desperate for some structure. I have found that I don't know what I'm gonna do for retirement. I guess I'll cross that bridge when we get there. Maybe I'll just die on the
I
job.
discovered in 2018 when I took that buyout package, and I had about 5 months to, my number one job was finding a job, but you could only put so many hours of the day into that practice, right?
Right.
I mean, mainly I spent my mornings looking for jobs, applying to jobs, reaching out to people I knew, that kind of stuff. So I spent my afternoon
That's why he
just
called me
kind
3 or 4 times a week, right?
of, what's that? Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's how we got to this point, isn't it?
Dave, you got anything
So,
for me yet? No. What do
yeah,
you got going?
exactly. Yeah, you were a big help. Um,
Here I am.
But needless to say, I tinkered around in a garage and I had projects going. And I discovered that I will not have a problem. Now, if I have no money in retirement, that's a different story. But
Well, that's critical.
Right. Because, I was buying materials and stuff and making stuff. It wasn't like I was making stuff to sell. I was just making stuff for my workshop,
You weren't
essentially.
driving around the neighborhood looking for scrap pieces of stuff to pull
Hitting up
together.
construction sites after hours. We used to do that as kids to build a tree fort, right?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit different though when you're 60 something.
Yeah. You think? Maybe.
Well, so I get it why people travel because traveling's fun.
Yeah.
It's an adventure, but you can't unless you're just swimming in money. That'd be something. Think about, imagine that swimming in money, and there was never.
Well,
That would be kind of
Jeff
cool.
Bezos with his $400 million yacht, it's not even a yacht at that point, right? It's a cruise ship, essentially. But
Uh,
so, and tooling around the world as he sees fit.
well, I think it would be cool to be able to. You wouldn't necessarily have to do it, but it'd be cool. I'm trying to think of uh, the act. What the word is? What's the word I'm looking for?
Pat Kelly, please weigh in.
Yeah, the sequence. Like you go away for a week, you got
Right.
to come home. You go. Do you do it twice a month? Do you do it once a month? What is it?
Well, you don't know yet, but you might have family that doesn't live nearby. So you have some of that traveling to do, right? So like right now, my daughter lives in London. So, either she's coming here or we're going there to see her. And,
Can we go see
who
her?
knows where my other two kids will end up. So,
Well, our oldest is 45 minutes away, and if
right.
Sheila has her way, which she will, because she always does, we'll be really
That's how it
close to.
works.
Yeah, we'll be really close to her, so like within minutes away from her. And then Sarah, our youngest, we don't know where she's going to land, but she could be upstate somewhere.
Or yeah, could be in Pennsylvania where she is now, or
Yeah,
you never know.
I kind of want her to stay. Like she's going to graduate next summer from her MBA, and she's got a great roommate as of right now. They're old teammates from golf, and a sweet girl, single. She's got a beau that she's kind of courting, but they're good kids.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you got a great apartment up there, up over this, right downtown in this little town right outside of Pittsburgh. It's a suburb. It's walking distance to all the cool, places right above a dentist office, and no one's beneath her during the evening. So I'm saying, just stay up there, get a job in
Yeah.
Pittsburgh, see what it's like. You can always come home.
She a Steelers fan yet?
I think by birthright she's a Steelers fan. Yeah, she likes going to the. I think she's been to a Pirates game. She goes to the Penguin games.
I say anybody can go to Pirates game. I think they're giving away tickets for that place. But yeah, Penguins
I
would be a
don't.
tough ticket.
Pirates have done pretty well lately. Got a pitcher that throws some heat.
Yeah, but he'll be gone this year. They don't want to pay anybody. So
No, all right. I don't know. I don't know that stuff, but whatever. All right. Well, this is episode 110. Welcome back, by the way. We're back.
yeah, yeah.
Episode number 110, season 10, episode 2. I don't. What are we gonna do? How do you want to do this? You want to just keep doing what we're doing, or
Why not? It's
okay?
working. I mean, our numbers flourished last week, Dave. And all
Well,
kidding aside, they actually did.
so I want to give Woody some props. He's done absolutely nothing to this
Yeah,
point,
exactly. I typed some letters.
and he even figured out a way to con off to his daughter 6,500 miles away. But anyway, so he came up and used some AI and got a thumbnail together. Maybe some of you have already seen it. I don't know if it really reflects my looks that well. It does have a guy with a beer in his hand, though, so I don't know how
Yeah, and curly white hair.
I guess
Right.
so. And
So,
glasses.
well, I told you the funny part was I couldn't remember, and I didn't feel like looking up at the time whether you wore glasses or not. So when it first drew us both, we both had glasses, and I didn't tell it that. And I'm like, well, Dave doesn't have glasses, and it came back and not only removed your glasses, it removed the top half of your hair. You were bald.
So you didn't give it a picture, you just described us.
Right. I just gave it some basic descriptions. I put big fat white guy.
Hmm. Thank you.
Oh no, I was talking about me.
Oh, okay. Conscientious, but big and fat.
No, I didn't get that detailed. I probably said, I forget how I worded it. I can look back. I can look it up. Actually, I typed it all in, but it did a pretty good job on the first try. It says, it asked me, do you want to give me some pictures to work from? I said, no, just, I said, 60-year-old man, white curly hairs, stocky build. And then I forget how I described myself. I said,
Handsome
57 year
Brad
old.
Pitt.
Yeah, Brad Pitt. No, but I did say big nose, and it did. I was waiting for cartoonish type nose on
Pinocchio.
me, but it kept it pretty slim. Had me in a t-shirt, and I thought, well, the differentiator sells. I'll put you in a t-shirt, me in a golf shirt, I said. And beyond that, I do see where the financial piece is going to come in for some of this because, I'm in it, I don't know, 15 minutes or so, and I'm tinkering with the thumbnails and telling it little things. All of a sudden it goes, "Oh, you're out of pictures for today," and come back in 24 hours, and you'll reset your counter for the day. And I'm like, "Ah, well, it was half decent at that point. I was trying to work around to give more room for for the episode and maybe a title or something like that, but I'm like, all right, whatever. So I come back in 24 hours and I initiated it again. He goes, "Oh, you're out of pictures for today. Do you want to bump up to the premium?" I'm like, so I told it, I said, "It's been 24 hours." They're like, "Oh, that is a problem, but your counter is up." like spoken
Who's
like a
working for who?
yeah, they learned all their AI from the call centers, where when you call in with a problem, it turns out to be you. That's the problem.
It's not our problem. It's you.
So, but the plan, this was Chat GPT I used. I didn't have a lot of luck with Copilot. Didn't I send you some nasty picture or something?
I
I
don't think
said
so.
AI sucks. I did.
Well, you said AI sucks, but I never got the pictures.
Oh, I thought I downloaded a picture
You have
and
an Apple?
so they want $20 a month
Mm-hmm.
for this service. That seems a little steep, doesn't it? For something I haven't really.
Well, okay. So what would it cost you to, what do you call that? Illustrate that, to come up with that on your own? Could you have done it? No.
Probably not, but that's, I don't have
That's
enough
beside the point.
uses to pay $20 a month. They could do
Well, they don't know that. They don't know that we're
well, I know they should
a
try billing like
fledgling.
they could have charged me $10 to continue working that, you know.
Yeah, whatever.
I guess you could do $20 and cancel, what have you, but
I can't
nonetheless.
figure out, are we in Arizona in that background though, or
No,
it's
I told I didn't come up with anything. It did that coloration, but I said, aren't yellow and blue colors
no,
good
you
for
like that.
YouTube?
Where'd you read that? You're stuck on that.
When I did some research on how to make good thumbnails, when I was researching, how to get better, and that's why I was playing around with the Sigma Chi colors with our background originally, for that reason, because supposedly those two colors attract your attention, your eye.
Yeah, but that looks like the Ukraine though, those colors.
Well, that's why I went to a diagonal versus a stripe. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
just trying to appease you, Dave, but it didn't pan out. So,
Well, this gives some personality without, dumping our picture out there, which is fine. I don't care. And I want to give you props back to what I said. Well done, and I think that's why we're seeing this growth in our viewership. People are seeing it because it's showing up, and I know it's in my feed because I subscribe to it. And by the way, please subscribe to We Can Help with Dave and Woody on YouTube. But it shows up in my, how it'll be this video you should watch next or something like that. It's showing
right.
up in that. Of course,
Okay. Well, yeah, it's because it knows you watch it, but
well, I know, but I got a feeling that there's something going on.
back to our sponsors, Dave. One, we didn't talk about it, did we? Do you see who won the race this weekend?
Was it the casino?
Yeah, it was Chumba Casino Car won the Indy Brickyard 400.
That's a NASCAR race. That's a
Yeah, yeah, but yeah, NASCAR does the Brickyard 400. Bubba Wallace.
Chumba Casino, huh?
Yeah, so one of our big sponsors. Yeah, I'm surprised we weren't invited to the race. Kind of disappointed, to be honest with you.
Well, We
They
were.
saturate our stream with their ads.
I
So
don't know if you missed that, but I got it in the mail, and I just said, "Hell, I don't want to go over there to."
maybe management reached out to you, right?
I'm like, I don't want to fly again up there.
Yeah, I was just there. Did I ever tell you I played the golf course at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway?
There's a golf course in the Speedway.
Part of it, yes, part of the 18 holes. I think 4 holes are in the infield, and the rest are on the back, out the back straight. So it's pretty cool. I didn't have anybody. I was up there on vacation with my young children and wife, and she took them to the Children's Museum while I partook in a game of golf. So I didn't get paired with anybody or anything. So I played 2 balls the whole day, and I actually played one of my better rounds, as a matter of fact.
I did see on the news this week, your neck of the woods, um, the Grove Park Inn there in not Charlotte, Asheville. The Grove Park Inn has a golf course down at the bottom of bottom of the hill, and
Yeah, it's a Donald Ross course.
Yeah, exactly, Donald Ross.
I played that one.
Yeah, and so Sheila and I honeymooned there at
Oh,
the Grove Park Inn, and she was feeling sick or something one day, and I said, "Well, I'm going to go down and play 9 holes." Well,
yeah.
the point of the story was not to relive that, but there was a mother bear. We saw it in the news or not, but there was a full-grown black bear with like 4 or 5 cubs, and she was wrestling with them on the fairway at the golf course. And
You're like,
so,
come on, I got to play through.
yeah, so people were trying to wait up
Hit,
for it, but it was
hit
cute.
golf balls at them.
No, I hope not. That'd be terrible.
Did
That'd
you
be
play the
inhumane.
course?
Yeah, I did. I
Okay.
can't remember if I brought my clubs. I hope not. What kind of guy takes his clubs on a honeymoon? That'd be terrible.
Yeah, I just thought, I'm like, why wouldn't you bring your clubs? But yeah, the honeymoon would be a little.
I think I got clubs from the shop or something, but yeah, I played.
It's
It
an
was
okay course. It's not like
a
what
little
you.
track. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
nothing.
you wouldn't DM, and it's Donald Ross, so it's just kind of
Well, it's pretty because of where you are. So,
right. Did you stay in the old section or the
uh,
new section?
well, if you're familiar with the Grove Park Inn, there's 2 towers that come out away from the mountain.
And that's the
We,
new sides, the
yeah,
new pieces.
we stayed in the farthest away, so closest to the view. We had a
Okay.
view that overlooked, and we got there the year, actually the week they opened their spa.
Oh,
They've got a spa like a grotto underground.
right.
We did, and then they had a comedy club there that a couple nights, and then they had it was around March. It was in March,
Yeah,
so
me
the
and
fire.
me and Barb stayed there once for a weekend. Back when we lived in Atlanta, we drove up to Asheville for the weekend.
Yeah, we had a nor'easter. It was snowing on the hill
Oh,
and
cool.
pretty good. And I had a little van that was a 2-wheel drive, and I was like, "Oh crap, we're not going to be able to get off this thing." This
Well,
is
once you get up there, you're fine. It's getting
yeah.
back
Well,
down that's a little
luckily this
iffy.
yeah the storm passed, and then we went on up to. I'm sure our listeners are like, "Wow, this is great, Dave." Where did we
Well,
go?
maybe they want to go Grove Park in someday. So we stayed in the. I was all psyched when we got there because they gave us a room in the old section, the original
Yeah,
hotel. You don't want to stay.
yeah, the little rooms. We looked at them.
Yeah, they're tiny, and the window is like just big enough to and it's offset. It's like 2 feet deep in the cement, so you got to like wedge your head in there to see how any view of the surroundings. So
Well, we
if
totally
you do
loved
go to Grove Park,
the lobby and the fireplaces. We got
yeah,
to
that's
experience
cool.
those. Yeah.
Sit out there, have a bourbon. They bring it
Well,
over to you. Yeah, it was very nice. Enjoy it. We were there in like November time frame, so
yeah.
same kind of deal.
Good times. Good times. Okay. I didn't get the time.
I did. Do you have time? Man, I got to pronounce this right. Synesthesia. Have you ever
Synes-
heard of that?
time synesthesia.
Yes. I listened to well, it was by a comedian. Our buddy Daniel Tosh had someone on who had this issue. It's not an issue. I guess it's more of a. I don't want to condemn. It's not a negative thing, but it's interesting. So someone with let me just rewrite it. Time synesthesia, time, also known as time space synesthesia, is a form of synesthesia. It's burning me here, where individuals perceive time in a spatial way. It's hard to imagine that, right? Like what does that mean? So
Like a block of time takes up space.
no, they visualize time. And I know it sounds stupid. You're like, well, it's a clock. No, or it's a calendar. No, that's not what they mean. So, like if I said to you, well, when we finish, we usually say, hey, what day are we doing the podcast next week? And we'd say, oh, Wednesday night. That's all you just know it's Wednesday night. You don't have to visualize Wednesday night. You just know it's Wednesday night. We do this. Someone with this condition would, like the person I was listening to, the days of the week they envision as a capital D, where Monday is at the top, and then you go around the curve part with Tuesday, Wednesdays in the middle, Thursday, Fridays at the bottom, and then Saturday and Sunday go back up the straight leg. So if I said, it's Wednesday, they would visualize a D and go around the D to the next Wednesday, go, it's over here. That's when we're going to meet again. In her condition, she visualized the calendar year as a circle, like a clock. But for some reason, and she didn't know why, September was at the 12 o'clock position with March at the 6 o'clock position. And so if me and you were talking and said, we're going to do something mid-January, she would have gone around to like 9 o'clock and kind of visually placed that date at that point in time. And that's how it sounds like a good way to memorize dates, but she had no idea why that's the way she knew time and stuff. The only way she had gotten diagnosed, she was, I don't know, in her 30s probably, and just recently got diagnosed or told she had this condition. When she was trying to explain to someone, she was confused to why their kids were getting taught time and dates in the calendar the way they were in school. She goes, well, doesn't anybody teach them about the circle or the letter D? And everybody's like, what are you talking about? This is the most bizarre thing, but it's interesting. And it's not many people. It's probably less than 5% of the population has this.
How did you hear about this again?
Daniel Tosh, it's someone who works for him. So he does he does a weekly podcast where he interviews someone, usually it's a position or something they do, like watch collector or it's just some bizarre thing. Well, apparently they were sitting around at the studio talking to one of his employees or past employees who had stopped by, and she brought up this thing, and he's like, I got it. So he did a quick 20-minute interview with her about the condition. Of course, he's turning it into a comical thing, calling her back crazy and everything else. And she was very, very good humored about it and everything.
So say it again. What is it? How do you pronounce it?
Now, I'm going to spell it because I'm hoping I'm pronouncing it right. I think she said synesthesia.
Well, hold on a second. Alexa, are you familiar with time synesthesia?
Time synesthesia is a fascinating condition where people perceive time as spatial arrangements. For example, some synesthetes might see months as a circular pattern or days of the week as a straight line in their mind's eye. Would you like to learn more about different types of synesthesia?
Yes.
Synesthesia comes in many forms, but they generally fall into two main categories. Projective synesthesia involves seeing colors, shapes, or forms in response to stimuli, while associative synesthesia creates strong, involuntary connections between different senses or concepts.
Fascinating, huh?
That's something.
It's something. But, the more she talked about it, the more I'm like, that's not a bad idea if you to be able to visualize a date.
Yeah, I don't think you could teach somebody this. I think it happens on
She
their
had
own.
all different formats for different things, like
Any kind
of numbering sequence was like someone's age or was a straight line. Money was a straight line, like some sort of line where she could place, if you told her the value of something, she would place it on that line. And she was working in, of course, in the studio, she wasn't working with any figurative issues. She was just kind of pointing like, oh, no, that's right here. And she would point to that place where she was visualizing it in her mind. So anyhow,
Oh, I
there you go.
sometimes
You learned
say,
we helped somebody today.
well, I sometimes say that I have a spatial disorder. When do I use that? That's like if I go through a drive-through, it drives my girls crazy. But I'll inadvertently be driving up to Taco Bell, for example, and the menu, I'm I can't process the menu in the time that I have at the drive-through drive up.
This is not just you.
Or there's other people out there like this, like so.
Apparently, go ahead and describe yours, and I'll back up. But
Well, so there's this. I don't know if it's self-inflicted, but you're going through drive-through. Maybe there's no one behind you, but sometimes someone will be behind you. So there's this notion that you should move along, so or have your stuff ready to order. And so I don't do well. I like lots of white space. I can't handle, like, I would have been a good menu designer for a restaurant. Like, you look up, remember the old days, you'd look up on the board and it
yeah,
had, like, you'd go to the old drive-in theaters. I don't know if you remember this or not. And they had those Pepsi or Coca-Cola menus that they would give up there, and it had those little black letters. And it was line by line by line of hot
yeah, because
dog,
someone had to
popcorn.
place it up. They had to plug the letters
Yeah,
in,
they didn't
right?
have the graphics they have today. So it's
Right.
not that I can't read and I need big pictures. I need books with pictures. It's not
I'll
that.
take that picture.
Yeah, but I call it a spatial disorder. I can't process that stuff that fast.
Well,
What do you got?
for me, it's a little different, and apparently this is a dad thing, but we'll talk about it a little bit more. For me, I don't like to waste people's time, right? And as you said, not only do I worry about the people behind me, but I worry about the people on the other end of the microphone listening to the order, right? That I pull up and they immediately ask. I love it when they say, "We'll be right with you." I'm like, "Oh, thank God, I've
Yeah.
got time to read the menu,
Yeah.
and make a decision." I can't sit there and go, hold on, get back to me. And then they get back to you a second time. I'm like, I'm not ready yet. I just can't, I can't do that to somebody. And on top of that, and this is where the dad thing comes in, is when you got a car full of kids, right? You order your food, and then all of a sudden people start yapping their orders to you. And they're like, get me a hamburger, no pickle, no tomato, and can you get French fries with the sauce? And I'm like, just what number do you want? And then I can't remember it. And then I'm having to repeat it to the lady. And I'm like, I'll change that from a hamburger to a hot dog and then make the Coke a Sprite. And I'm wasting their time and I hate it. So
You
as soon
pull
as,
up and lower the back window and say, "You order the damn thing." That's what I do.
well, that's what I do now. I tell them what I want. I'm like, you talk to the lady.
Yeah.
Because they made fun. We stopped off at, I forget, this one place, and I ended up ordering wrong. I said, "Oh, the cheese curds." I can't remember the name of the place. And the kid's like, "No, I want this." I'm like, I don't know what it is. And the lady's like, "Well, what do you want?" And I'm like, "Cheese curds." And I just drove up. And the kids who just that's one of those moments in their lifetimes that they still bring up. Remember the time Dad couldn't order the right thing in a drive-through because
equates it to some sort of trust issue, which I don't.
Well, to me, it's just wasted. And I've talked to plenty of other fathers who do let the back of the car order because they don't want the stress of dealing with the drive-through.
I think that's why I like to go to a restaurant. I like to go and sit down and take a moment.
Yeah.
I tell you, the other thing I do with a menu is, and
Lick it.
well, especially if it's greasy.
See if it tastes when you
I
lick
don't
the
know
picture.
where I learned this, but I try to see if there's a It's not that I'm cheap, but I try to work the menu to find the value. sometimes menu organizers will, like they'll say, you get a la carte. You get a half a chicken for, I don't know, $35. We
Woo,
went to a
what are you
restaurant.
eating?
No, you go to a place and you get a. I can't think of one off the top of my head, but you get a steak, for example, for
Yeah,
so
those
much.
steakhouses are famous for charging it
And-
individually.
yeah, or then if you buy the steak and a baked potato and something else, it's cheaper to combine it than it is to order a la carte. So you could buy the same steak for $45, the a la carte potato for 5, and the side salad for 7.50. But if you do the budget, you do the bundle, you get a little better break. Or maybe the bundle looks good price wise, you think it's going to be the deal, but if you break it apart, that's where the sneaky part of
Yeah, I
the.
forget. There's a reason they do that. You chopped up again at our usual time, but that's I forget the financial reason fast food joints do that, right? It's almost like buying just a Whopper costs more than the combo.
Well, I'll tell you where I know where I learned part of this from a value standpoint was I sold filing cabinets, and we sold the
Well, you're
pitch
dating
was.
yourself now.
Yeah, but the pitch was we sold it by the filing inch, and you had to break it apart. It's a long story, but we sold a very expensive filing cabinet, and if I had another 30 minutes with you, I could break it down to filing inches, and it'd be less expensive than our best competitor, who was even, I could show you how it was a value sell. And so
Right.
I learned early on about value. So what I do with my kids, for example, and I'll give you this one, is toilet paper. I tell them, go to the grocery store with your parents, and I want you to get your phone out and look at the total square feet.
And take a picture of your mom first.
Yes, especially okay. Anyway, so total square feet, and then take the price and divide it by total square feet. And you would think the big bundles of rolls of paper, like the 12, 15 rolls, would be cheaper.
Right.
That's a gimmick. They've got you thinking, oh,
I'm buying in bulk, so it must be
buying in
cheaper.
bulk. And so sometimes you'll get the 4-pack, which you think would be the most expensive. It'll actually be cheaper by like 80 cents a foot. It's like crazy. So try that out. Find your brand. You got to stay within your
You going
brand.
2-ply, single ply?
Well,
What are
whatever
we going?
that's the thing. Whatever if you're super cloudy, or
Whatever you're accustomed to in the nether
whatever
region.
your brand is, and then apply that principle to total square foot, the price of the unit.
Do I have to go
divided by-
square foot? Can I just go total distance? Don't they do distance?
No, so you can't do number of rolls either, because the number of rolls,
Yeah.
they load them up smaller and shorter. You have to do total square foot. It's on there. And you'll be surprised. Sometimes they'll move the pricing around. So I come to my idiosyncrasies in that space, but man, those menus screw me up, especially the drive-through. And I know one other example where I was at a casino one night, and I was playing 21 blackjack, and I'm sitting at the table, and it's like a $50 bet or something I've got out.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Bigwigs here.
Yeah.
First he has a $35 half chicken. Now he's throwing $50 bets at the blackjack table.
So I'm standing on 13. My cards up are 13, and the guy's coming around, right? There's only 4 or 5 of us playing this hand. And they move, pretty quick. These guys are like,
Well, they want to. Yeah, they make money per hand.
And so I haven't answered him yet. I'm held up, and I'm looking at my cards. I'm looking at the rest of the table, and he goes, "Sir, we're playing at 21. Your cards are showing 13."
You're like, oh shit! I've been playing to 30 this whole time.
I'm doing the math. I'm like, okay, wait a minute. If I get a 7, I'm at 20. If I get I'm like, shut up. I played the golf course. I paid the fees. I'm playing a whole golf course. He goes, "Sir, it's 21. You're at 13. Do you want another card, or what are you doing?"
Well, where was he at? Do you remember?
I can't remember. At that point, I said, "This is the last hand. I can't.
Right.
I can't handle this.
Can't take the pressure.
I'm going straight to the roulette table after that."
Anyway. So, did you take the hit or not?
I don't remember. I think I broke even and got out of that game, but I did better at roulette, believe it or not. I had a system for that. It worked out pretty well.
It can't be a system for roulette.
House. Huh?
There can't be a system for roulette.
Yeah, I got one that works pretty well. I think I've shared this with you before. You got to come in with some money though.
No, really?
You got to start with about $800, and then
At a what size table we talking? 20 or 50 or 100
no,
or 10?
they're dollar bets.
Oh,
You put it down.
you're at the shitty roulette table. You're slumming it. All right.
Well, I don't know, 33 to 1 or 37 to 1 or whatever it is. Anyway. All right. Well, anyway, so moving on.
Oh, you're not going to let it retell your roulette
Well,
strategy?
okay. So when you win at roulette, the first time you win your hand, your roll, you got to get up.
Are you betting odd, even, black?
No, I would pick I think I picked 37 and no, 34. I can't remember if 34 is black or red.
Right.
But I'd put like $5-10 on 34. And then sometimes I'd cover 00, because that's the odd, the 0 and the 00 they're in the green spot in the table.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's 1 through 37, I think it is, on the board. Or 34, 36, I can't remember. But I would always put money on 1, and then maybe I'd split it up every once in a while. It's 33 or 35 to 1.
So you're not consistent with there isn't just
No,
one
34, the 34, whatever it was, 34 or 36. I think it was 34.
We got a guy right now at the roulette table waiting for you to.
Well, I always covered the 34. I
All
just
right.
kept staying with it.
All right.
And as soon as you would win, okay, now you can't put all the coins down, because as soon as you do that, then your odds are, so you win, big deal. You've covered everything. But I would stick with about 3 bets on the table.
All right.
And as soon as you win, you got to get up and leave. And so I would cash out, and then
if you didn't win back what you lost.
No, you'd have to get up. You'd have to win up. So
okay. You'd stay. You'd play till you were up $1 or up $100.
Right.
You'd leave.
Yeah, because what happens is, as soon as you win and you're up, you're playing, with their money, theoretically, you're like, okay, wait a minute, I can, a couple more of these, I can get rent, I can, I can do this. And so the more you do that, you're being suckered into the game. And so I just learned, I said, okay, I'm getting up. I'm just going to get up and go walk around for 5-10 minutes, maybe have a beer or something like that. And then I would come back to the table. And then I don't know, it's the worst game in the house, apparently, for the gambler. But
the odds, you mean?
Well, I think the guy loses because he keeps betting and thinking he's going to win. He's going to win. He keeps betting and he just blows it all out.
That's most people with a gambling problem. But yeah, okay. No matter what game.
I've won every time I played it. I've never lost.
Then what are you doing in Jacksonville, Florida? You should be in Vegas.
So I've told this story, but the last time Jeff and I, my buddy Jeff, were with Herman Miller, we were in Council Bluffs, and we were putting in a job in in Omaha. We were right across the river from Omaha. And so I got us rooms at Council Bluffs because they were like
nice.
$45 a night.
Yeah, no, it's cheap as crap over there.
But then you spend, kinds of money.
Yeah.
So,
in fact, you never made it to the job, right?
So, yeah. So we had to fly out at 5:00 in the morning that we were leaving the site. And I was $1,200 in the hole.
Ooh.
8:00 that night before we left. And I hadn't married Sheila yet, but I was engaged to Sheila. And, when you're a single guy and you bet and do that kind of stuff, it's your money. You can do whatever you want to.
Right.
Well, it was still my money, but there was something that just washed over me and said, there's no way I can go home and tell Sheila I lost $1,200 in the casino.
So she doesn't know that until tonight when she listens to the podcast.
No, I think she knows the story. Do you know that story?
No, you left 1,200 in the hole is my point.
Yeah. So I said, I got to wait myself out of this, man. I got to work my way out of it. And so the whole night I went back to my room, packed my bags, put on my travel clothes. And I said, Jeff, I'm just going to stay up the whole night until I make it up. So I got up $300 or $400 out of it and said, I'm done. And then we went and caught a cab and went to the airport. We were riding the first flight out at 5:00.
What's nice about roulette and trying to think of the other
work,
one.
Though, man, talk about work. Sorry.
Yeah. All right. Well, most successful gamblers, it is a lot of work. What's nice about roulette is no matter where you play, the odds are the same, right?
Yeah, I
It's
think it's
now, in Vegas, depending on where you are in relation to the strip, the odds are harder and harder as you get to the strip, right? So if you go off strip, you get better odds on like the blackjack machines and things of that nature. And at the airport, you'll never win at the airport. That's the odds are so against you at the airport. So that's how they regulate them. So
yeah. Well, they're in business to make it. They got some pretty nice buildings out there. So obviously the
yeah, I
house
think they're
has
doing
won a few
okay.
times.
Yeah,
Yeah,
except for Atlantic City. So
yeah.
that one took a crapper. Well, we got 4 minutes. You got something you want to share with us? You named like 80 when we were getting ready.
Well, I had to go to the doctor this week. That's really not that big a deal.
How'd the finger feel?
No, well, I did. So I have to get my medication. When you run out of 90 days, they want to check your whatever.
They'll just, most of the pharmacies will take care of that for you these days. They'll call your doctor and get them to
No,
read.
no, they do that. But then my
Oh,
doctor says no, he's got to come in and see us.
yeah, good. I want my money too.
Yeah, that's what it is. So I see a PA, and he wasn't. Usually you do that and go, well, I'm out. Monday I'm out of drugs. And they're like, well, you should have called us ahead of time. I'm like, just don't start. And I said, you got anybody available? And they said, well, we got this one gal, whatever her name was. And I've seen her before. She's a sweetheart. She's a young PA. And they didn't charge me because I asked about a well, I said, when do I get my well visit? Is there such a
Oh,
thing anymore?
yeah,
And she
physical.
said,
I get one free physical a year.
yeah. So she said, you're just coming in to get your drugs redone. Look, we're gonna refund you for your deductible, and then we'll just hit you in December when you come back in and get your blood work done. And I told her something. You're not only beautiful outside, but you're a beautiful outside and inside person. And she just got real flush and beamed, from some
No,
old.
she was more like, let me get my camera rolling so I can me too your ass after you
Nah,
walk out
she
of
was
here.
cool. We had a little fun. Not nothing carried away, but it
I
was
know.
just cute. So that worked out well. And then I had an experience at the Tractor Supply. I don't want to
Oh yeah,
bash
yeah,
Tractor
yeah. That's the
Supply.
one I was trying to think of.
Yeah. So, we've been talking about our deer, and it
Yeah.
turns out we have two herds. We've confirmed it. And we have two bucks, two dawns, and I don't know, there's 8 in one herd, maybe 6 in another. And so we've gone through a bag of corn, 40-pound bag, and it took us a month. And then I did some research. Like you said, we're really not supposed to feed them, but I feel bad. And so the corn is all
You feel
carbohydrate.
bad because they're happily living without you feeding them, is what you felt bad about.
I don't know. I mean, what do they got to live for? Anyway, so the carbohydrates in the corn, now I'm like, now I got to be like a zookeeper. So I started doing some research, and I've watched them and kind of, figured it out. Anyway, so I said, I'm going to go down to Tractor Supply. I think that they need some protein. So I asked the guy, I said, look, here's my situation.
It's
I really,
just your veterinary background. You said, yeah, I think they need protein.
well, I did some research. I Googled it, right? And so it turns out that soybean, of course, there's a lot of that growing around in my backyard, but soybean and corn, soybean's a great source of protein for them. And the one feed they had that had the soybean, roasted soybean, by the way, had
Mm.
persimmon flavoring.
You can make yourself some soy while you're at it too, man.
Yeah. Um. Anyway, so I cornered the guy. He looks like he works there, and I'm like, listen, I don't want to overthink this, but what's your take on this? And so I said,
How old was he?
30s,
Okay.
like a manager.
So
And
he's a
so
he's not there just for the
yeah, for the
12
hours.
hours a week or whatever. Yeah.
So he immediately goes to, well, I know we have there's feed that they have pears in them, crushed pears. I'm like, okay. I didn't ask about pears. I asked about protein mix and, what do you think about this? And he goes, well, there's pear. And then there's this other stuff. You can get a salt lick if you want. It's got some stuff in it too. And I looked at him and said, you really don't know, do you? And he goes, no, we got this bag right here and this bag, and this one's $17.99 and that one's $9. And I was like, okay, you're allowed to help.
He should have tried to upsell you. You want the more expensive bag. It's got all the protein you want.
I grabbed, he didn't even offer to grab the 40-pound bag because like it's heavy as shit, So
it's 40 pounds, Dave.
Yeah. So I said, okay, you're no help. Move on. And so I took the 40-pound bag, put it on the thing, and the lady up front, it's that question. Did you find everything you were looking for? Well, kind of. I mean,
I never know how to answer that question.
Yeah.
'Cause what are you going to do about it if I say no?
I mean, are you talking about the moment that I was in the store or like my life?
Yeah. What are we talking about after I get home?
Because I've clearly not found everything I was looking for. But anyway, so I just on the way home, I have this conversation with myself, which is kind of disturbing in its own right. But I'm like, what do we need people for? What? It's got to be so, this is me shaking my fist at the cloud like I always turn everything into. But I mean, why do I even need you? I've got Google.
That's what e-tail is all about. You don't need these people. Just click the button and it shows up at your door.
Yeah. So I'm sitting here and I say, okay, screw you, pal. You're useless. So is soybean a good source for protein for white-tailed deer?
Did you ask her name?
Oh, I'm sorry. Alexa, is soybean a good source for protein for white-tailed deer?
Yes, soybeans are an excellent protein source for white-tailed deer. They contain 25 to 35% crude protein and are among the top protein-rich foods deer consume, along with alfalfa, clover, and corn.
It's also good for vegetarians.
So it says in the Google, thank you, by the way.
You're welcome.
It says in the Google, especially during the spring and summer months when they are growing antlers and fawns are developing. Hey, that's us, right?
There you go, Dave.
Soybeans provide high quality, digestible protein with levels up to 35% in some varieties when properly fertilized, blah, blah, blah. Okay, according to the North American white-tailed deer. So at the end of the day, what do I need this guy for? What are these people that work at these places? Are they nothing more than just stocking agents?
Yes, because a lot of us like to see the product and hold the product still and before we buy it.
So they're just moving it off the truck to the back room. Because I poked my head. I was one of those guys that walk through the back door.
You just walk back there. Hey, what are you guys doing?
I'm like, hey, can I get some help out of here, please? And he's like, no, that's not what we do. We just stock shelves. Yeah. Now you're going to ask us questions that we don't know the answers to. Then, that's above my pay grade.
Oh.
So I don't know.
Well, let's continue this subject next week, Dave.
I'd like to. It's just
give us something to talk about because we're out of time for this week.
All right, folks. I hope that you've stayed this far. If you have, please mash the button for We Can Help.
Yeah, I appreciate all the views we got and want you to keep coming back. If you would, hit the subscribe button, help us get our numbers up. So I see we did grab a few this week, so we're good there too.
Okay.
And then Dave.
You done stepping all over my ass? All right. Anyways, I don't even want to say it now. Just screw it. Listen to us on Spotify. Spring. Oh, I do have one thing.
Hurry it up.
I know. I checked the numbers in the Audible side, and we're in some foreign country, and there's a new. Dang it! I can't remember what it was.
We'll bring it up next week.
There's a new Spotify, but it's all over the world.
Oh,
it's
okay.
Like something.com. Yeah, whatever.
Oh, that was
it's one of those things.
Right, .com. I'll put that in my browser. See what comes up.
Okay. Smart ass. All right. Well, I guess next week I'll be somewhat back to school. All right. That's it.
All right. Good night, folks.
Good night, Gracie.
Okay, bye.